Hello, everybody. Today, I would like to share with you the topics which is very important for your business and the growth of your company in today's market. Lead generation and customer acquisition is so vital for any growth business. And this year it has been a very, very difficult year. We started the year out very strong in the month of January and February, right? And then pandemic hit. So if anything, the last 2 months and going to 3 months, it changing how it have changed dramatically in terms of what we do. And lead generation become a very important for our business, more than ever before. So in the last lesson, I share with us about the time management, creating the schedule that work for you, creating the schedule that allow you to be able to get into lead generation activity every single day and grow your business. Because the truth is, as a professional real estate entrepreneur, right? We have the choice, right? We have the choice. We either wait every single day, we either wait for the business to fire, or we can go and buy the business, or we can go and own the business ourselves, right? So, for example, I came from Vietnam, and I didn't know a soul in Seattle. So, I got involved in the real estate business in 1998. When my first broker owner is Brian in Belleville. At the beginning, I didn't sell any home, right? I didn't know what to do, but as soon as I know about the technique and the strategy of how to do lead generation, how to do customer acquisition, and then I apply that into my business. My business grow. As you all know, I completed over 3,000 customers, and then when I get into the business of investment and development, in terms of raising capital, I apply the same concept into the business. So no matter what level you are, right? What level of production income, for you and for your family, it's always great, that you apply lead generation, customer acquisition into your schedule, every single day, right? So, I know that, this is the time that when, when everything out there is so negative, things are go haywire, right? But if you learn from the last lesson, which is the time management and schedule that I share with you, then if you want to be efficient, right? If you want to be effective, right? And if you want to be productive, right? And this is the idea that I share with you. And I understand that today, we do different. We do business different in the past, and so with utilize the technology, you still be able to making effective presentation to your client. If you be able, but first you have to find a customer, right? And then you have to be able to convince the customer to listen to your presentation. So the only way for me, started it out that I didn't know anybody, I didn't know a soul, right? So the three options that I mentioned with you, we see waiting for business to fire you, go and buy the business, or go and earn the business. I pick the number three, right? So go and earn the business yourself. So if that's the case, if that the go and earn the business yourself, then you apply what I share with you is the creating the schedule that allow for you to do that, right? So the last topic that I share with you is about the money. It's about a money making activity, right? It's a money time. So what would be the lead generation, customer acquisition that you build into your schedule? So to make your your prospecting time better in the morning, usually you stay away from the media, right? You stay away from media. You don't want to listen to a lot of negativity. Then what you wanted to do is that you want to stay away from newspaper. You stay away from your email. Don't check your voicemail yet. If you wanted to make your morning routine of lead generation, customer acquisition better, you want to be strong, right? Strong in the mental, strong in the mindset, right? So Zig Ziglar I've been to one of Zig Ziglar's seminar before, and he shared with everybody, and I still remember, back like 20 years ago, he said that every day you wake up, you check up from the neck up, right? Every day you wake up, you check up from the neck up. So you make sure that your subconscious mind is great, right? Because you're talking to the client. I wrote down, to be efficient in the pre-prospecting, routine, like myself, I wake up every single day. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Then I hit the gym from 6 o'clock to 8. So then I be able to get my strong mental fitness and physical fitness. So it's a routine that I've been doing that for as long as I in the business, and I've been in business 20 years. So I doing that 260 days a year. I doing that, I'm doing that 20 days every single month, right? So it's become a routine that you get to do. So you wake up, Pacific time every single day, and do some types of exercise and stretching, right? Before you get to work. Have a healthy breakfast. Eat something that's good. Eat something that gives you energy, right? Because energy is vital. To you want to be energetic. Who would want to listen to a people that no energy, right? Boring, right? So think about, like, if you're gonna get on the phone call, think about if you're gonna get on into a presentation to your customer, via Zoom or GoToMeeting or any technology that you're gonna get to your client. So you want to be energetic, and if you're gonna get on the phone, set up the meeting with your client, right? You want to be energetic, talking to your client about the solution that you're gonna help them. Who would want to meet a person that low energy, that no energetic, right? That not strong, because our client in today's market, they are worried, they are concerned, right? They are fearful of what's going on. So you want to be positive, right? You want to be energetic, and you want to offer the problem solving to your client, right? So I say that, part of the pre-prospecting routine is that doing the affirmation, right? For example, if you're gonna get on the call with your client, your customer, you need to work your mindset. Remember Zig Ziglar always saying that you check it up from the neck up every single day. But in this case, you check up from the neck up in every time you're talking to your client, because who want to meet with a professional, that boring, that low energy, right? That don't offer the positive solution for the problem that our client facing. So really, the routine that arrive, create a schedule for yourself to do that, and don't get yourself distracted, right? But I also look at it and say, you really have to know your script and dialogue when you're talking to your client, right? So make sure that you practice that. You practice your script and dialogue. Every professional that who earn high income professional, I look at, for example, last week, we have a golf tournament between Tiger Woods and Tom Brady, the quarterback, right? When you think about okay, how much time Tiger Woods practice every single day, right? How much time Tom Brady practice every single day, right? To play 16 games in football and NFL, right? And you really think about I worked with NBA, retired NBA legend before, and I talking to a lot of professional athletes. They practice, they role play, right? And if I were to ask you a question, how much you practice your phone presentation, right? Which I will be sharing with you at the at every workshop, right? So how much do you dedicate yourself to build a better skill? How much do you practice? That's the thing. So if you look at professional, they practice. Mediocre, they don't, right? So have fun of doing it. Business lead generation, customer acquisition activity is a fun thing to do. It's like a habit, right? You, from the last lesson, you learn about creating a schedule for yourself, and have an accountability partner to helping you to do that, to implement that every single day. Accountability, right? It's very important. When you look at this one, if you were to work for Seattle Mariners, if you work for Los Angeles Lakers, right? So, do you think there is a high level of accountability that corporate implement on a member, on employee, so that they can, perform better? Correct? My friend, she worked for Los Angeles Clipper in the sales office, selling tickets, season ticket for season ticket, and what she prospecting. She follow her schedule Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 every single day, just like that. Why don't you create a schedule? Why don't you doing the business lead generation and customer acquisition, doing that every single day? Why don't you treat it like a business, like everybody else, right? But why do we have all this flexibility, and we don't, we got to really treat it like business and having fun of doing it. That's all it is. So we have to, make a commitment, right? It's not like, okay, I want to do it, I'm gonna do it when I feel I want to do it. It's a commitment to building the business through daily schedule of prospecting, right? So that's the only way to do it. Again, I would say hey, at the earlier the program, I would say you either wait for the business, to fire you, right? You either, in today's market, with things are changing. If you're gonna wait for business to fire you, you're gonna be on a good diet the customer not gonna find you, right? If you see like, let's say in the real estate business, for example, if you look at it, retail client, we look at the statistic from the ICSC, more than 76% tenant that not gonna be able to pay rent. What about commercial property, office building, and that office building or retail that listing on the market or off the market? So how they have the need for the brokerage service. How are they gonna call you? Well, the answer is no. They don't know who you are, right? So if they don't call you, they don't know who you are. What are your options of building a business, building new relationship for you? You gotta go. You gotta follow your schedule, doing the activity of income producing activity that I share with you. Talking to your client, right? Talking to your client. How do you do it? Because you have the schedule to do it, right? Assuming that you have accountability. And so for some of you that say, I don't know what to say, I don't have accountability, I'm not in the business environment, to do it, then, talk to our office. We can help you with that, right? So I help and train over 146 real estate entrepreneurs to build business, to efficient prospecting, finding the business for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from Vietnam, for God's sake. I didn't know any soul in the US, okay? I didn't have a penny, Somebody talked to me and they say, Michael, at the early days when I came to America, and I want to build big company. I want to build big project, right? And I want to help a lot of people. And I want to help entrepreneur to grow, right? So, you can get rich by enriching other. That's what I learned, when I was young, So look at all the story out there, right? You look at like Jeff Bezos from Amazon. He enriching other people through his business. Bill Gates from Microsoft. He created the software program, right? The Windows that enriching other people and the business. You look at Zuckerberg, create like Facebook, he make a positive impact on other people by connecting the world together, right? So to be rich, you have to learn how to enriching other people. And how do you enriching other people? You gotta find customer, talk to them, offer your service. But how do you talk to people? How do you offer your service if they don't know who you are? Where, and to create that opportunity, my friend, you have to prospect. You have to follow the schedule, right? That's already, and have fun doing that. So really, I wrote down, we must determine where our business come from before where we going with our business, right? We gotta, creating the system that's sourcing all your closing, right? Creating the system that's sourcing all your business. You gotta know where your business coming from, right? And the building the business in the declining and changing market, right? So it's requiring for you to be proactive, right? Being proactive and creating new opportunity, new business for yourself. How do you do that? Well, going out there and go and earn the business instead of waiting for business, right? Waiting for the business is not an option. Buying the business is not an option either. At least for me, when I own and operated as the president and CEO of Windermere R&D, our office is located International District. Over the 12 years, we helping thousands of clients, right? The thing about that would be, okay, so I did not really go out there and buy business Why? Well, you already know I become a Windermere owner and CEO, and I become a president of Prudential Real Estate R&D, and have a jam to providing service for over 3,000 clients. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't do that because I have the money to buy the business for me. I have to follow my schedule. I do the activity that lead to income every single day. We see lead generation and customer acquisition, right? I do that, through prospecting. I didn't wait for anybody to find me. Now, you add any of the 11 Sell Make Millionaire in our Advanced Business Workshop program, and the 146, client that we coach and train, or over 3,000 clients that I serve over the years. Nobody know me. It's just because that because I'm so famous, they call me. I have to contact and prospecting to them every single day, one client at a time, right? So that's what I'm sharing with you. This Ephesians program gonna be able to help you with your business and grow your business. Buying the business is not really an option. Well, it's not an option for me because I did not have money when I come to the US. I was so poor, right? So the only way for me to go is to earn the business. So really sourcing your business and say, okay, if I were to 2019, I closed 10 transactions, and 8 transactions coming from my past client and sphere of influence, people that know me, people that support me, right? Can I duplicate that, right? So, for example, and then, 2 transactions that come in from a side call, an advertised call, or however you come up with that, and so you really look at the transaction that we close at the team. 60% of those were coming from listing sold, and 40% is coming from buyer control sale, right? So, again, our business generally come from either you waiting for it, you buying for it, or you go out and you fight it. But in today's market, you're using technology, to get to your client, right? So, 70% should coming from you fighting it, right? Yeah, 70% of your business should come from fighting it. And if you wanted to learn more about that, come to the Advanced Business Workshop. We're going to teach you how to explore the 18 different ways to find business. But I really recommend it for you, right? To really look at and say, well, what are the sources that you can working on right now? I recommend it, past client, the people that know you, trust you, and done business with you in the past, right? Work that, contacted them, giving them some valuable information, giving them the reason to call them, right? And the number one thing that I know a lot of the past client that you have right now, they wondering like if you bought them a home, you bought them a building, you bought them an investment, they want to know what the value of their asset is right now. So, talk to them about getting a new BPO, getting a new CMA, right, for their asset. Talking to your client, any good positive information that you can share with your client in today's market, give you the reason to contact your past client. How about people that know you, sphere of influence, right? People that know you, support you. And I got a friend, she opened up a restaurant during this pandemic right now, and her sale is quadruple, and she shared with me because she happened to be my client. She said, well, Mike, glad that you call, but our sale is quadruple, because we stay open and we contact our people that know us, come and support our restaurant, right? So she calling her client. And so how about you? You run your business the same way. You gotta get to your sphere of influence, calling them, right? Calling them to support. Just like my friend, she opened the restaurant. She let all of her sphere of influence say that I am here to serve you. I am open. My business is open to serve you, right? So in today's market, that's what we need. Be proactive, right? Talking to like, look at this opportunity in the hidden market too. We see expire listing. Think about that in a good market. You got 35% of the listing expire at commercial listing, industrial, office building or retail, residential, right? Like 1/3 of the listing is not sold, expire or cancelled by a lot of reasons. But in the declining, changing market where we are right now, there are a lot of the percentage of listing expire much greater than the previous market. You know that. So cap on that opportunity. If you say I do not know, Mike, how to work with this program. Actually, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. It's a golden opportunity, right? Like for sale by owner, that's another. Leasing by owner, right? And I say, well, there's an opportunity out there, but in terms of technique and the strategy how to do it, come to our advanced business workshop. We're going to share that with you every Tuesday from 9 o'clock to 11 in the US Pacific Standard Time. I also for those of you guys in Asia, that I have a program later in the day. We see like 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that would be like 9-10 o'clock a.m. over in Asia. So we do that. Learning technique, learning strategy, learning way to dealing and growing, in this today's market, really crucial, really important, right? So contact people surrounding. I always, if I get a listing, or my firm had a listing, or my associates have a listing, I'm calling them to get permission for me to market it and promote it a listing. I call it surrounding the neighborhood within 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, and letting people know the call gonna go like this. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, I have the asset that just came on the market for sale. I wondering, who do you know that would like to move into our area, right? So letting people know about, new inventory on the market. The advantage in today's market is inventory, supply and demand, right? As So if you're gonna be able to take listing inventory and you price it right, and how do you price it right? Come to our training program. We're gonna teach you about, evaluation, comparable report, comparative market analysis, so that you can price your property and the technique to, pricing the property right, so that it's sold. That's gonna put money in your pocket. That's gonna help to solve your client problem, right? So those 18 techniques that we'll be sharing for you today is a really short amount of time. I do not have the time to share that with you, but come to our workshop, register for our program. We have a great advanced workshop program for the broker that wanted to grow and expand your business in today's market, right? Yeah. So sometimes we do business lead generation, right? We know that we must doing it, right? And we know that we have to do it. So if we don't, what happened if we don't do it? We're probably gonna be out of business. Our business is dead. No customer, no revenue, no income, no service to other clients. Our business is already dead. So this is the way to get your business up and running. And then we doing it, we must doing it. It's not an option. In the last 6 to 8 years, the market is upward trending, right? Like a lot of buy, a lot of seller. You take the listing, the market go up. You don't have to do anything. As an investor, builder, you just buy the property and the market go up. It pick up the appreciation. But all of that is gone, right? All of that is changing, right? Depends on where we are in the different market, but business is changing. We have to change with it, right? So if we're gonna have to do customer acquisition, we have to do lead generation. But then the question, like, I don't know how to do it. I haven't done it before, right? I don't know what to say to the prospect. I don't know what to say over the phone, what to say to them to convince them to see my service and my presentation, right? Or when I get to meet with them, I don't know how to present, what am I going to tell the client, right? Because remember what I say to you, you got to expand your market. You got to expand your market. You have to work, right? You have to create a schedule. You have to reach out to client. You have to expand your market, right? So if we were to do that, then we don't know what to do. Come to our workshop. We're gonna share with you what you should do in the presentation. If you work with investor, what the strategy and technique that you work with investor, right? If you work with foreign buyer, you know what to say, what to present, how to build trust and rapport with people that different than you are. I know most of you are doing business with people that It's called it's sphere of influence. But there's a lot of opportunity out there that you can expand in your business. So understanding customer acquisition, lead generation is difficult at the time. For example, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to prospect. I don't know what to say, right? This business always come to me in the last 10 years. I don't have to do anything. I have really non-productive work habit, right? If I were to get to the client over the phone, set the appointment, so that they can see my presentation over the Zoom or in the person when it's allowed, right? When the market allow, I cannot handle rejection, right? I mean, like, what if they rejected me, right? So, I don't get enough result. I mean, I just have the basic fear of of the business acquisition, customer acquisition, and lead generation. I'm just sitting around. So, guy and gal, this is the opportunity, but you have to step it up. If you really don't know how to do that, come to our workshop. We're gonna show you how to do it, right? So this is a high level of earning skill that you're gonna be learning, right? So I'm gonna if you interested in learning, come to our workshop, call our office, email us or call us, right? So you gotta be able to make a minimum of 10 contact per hour when you prospecting, right? So, but you need to in today declining and changing market. You need to make a minimum of 3 hour prospecting per day, plus follow up, no matter what the goal you set for the year, right? Remember what I told you earlier, either you wait for business to find you, either you buy the business if you have a lot of money, right? Or you go and own the business, I hope you pick number 3. At the earlier program, I shared with you that there are 2 types of people, the people that the people that you don't know. Which group you think is larger, right? So think about that, and get into the advanced business workshop course and learn it, right? Learning is equal earning. The more you learn, the more you earn, right? But the key to be successful in the declining and changing market is your ability to do customer acquisition, right? And I shared with you in the past knowledge equal confidence, ignorance equal fear, right? When you know what to say, when you know what to do, when you know what to present, when you know the objection, right? Your confidence go up. You cannot wait to see your client. That's when financing, that's when client, that's when customer, that's when transaction that you attracting into your business, right? But you have to take action by go and train yourself, whether you train it from anybody else or you train it at the advanced business workshop. I hope you take initiate action to improve your high level skill, right? When you change yourself, the income result and will follow, right? So I wrote down, the sooner you memorize and internalize the lead generation script and dialogue to practice and role play, you will have you have stay on your schedule, right? You have a better chance to stay on your schedule. Okay, memorize, rehearse, and internalize the script and dialogue you're talking to the client, right? Yeah. So if you look at the if you look at any corporate sale, they have every corporate sale, they have their own script and dialogue when they're talking to the client, right? So what you wanted to do is you memorize and internalize it, right? So it gives you a better chance, to stay on the schedule, be efficient about talking to your client, right? So, I wrote down practice and role play the most common objection when you prospecting. Identify that the one that you get more often and spend more time on them, right? So objection is just part of the business. The question is the objection is the question in the mind of the customer that they want to ask you, right? For example, commission, the listing contract, right? It's just the question in the mind of the customer that they're gonna ask you. But the question here, when you get to ask the same question all the time, it's just learning it, right? Identify it, learning it, spend more time on it, practice, rehearse, so you will have a better response, right? So yeah, so the when you do customer acquisition and lead generation, the hardest phone call that you make, the hardest call that we make many times is our first phone call of the day, right? You call your past client, you call your sphere of influence, you call like a list, of the customer and bring the positive feedback. And the positive feedback is boosting your confidence, when you start the prospecting, right? So call your client. I'm always call like my A customer list, right? Those are the people that supporting my business. Send the referral. Those are the people that I call in first, right? And so, well, since that business customer acquisition and lead generation is the only solution to help you to grow, to maintain and grow, your business, and you're gonna have to do it. So you're gonna have to do it for many more years as long as you're in the business, right? So if that's the case, then work on your mindset. Customer acquisition become major part of your job, in the declining and changing market, right? So build a schedule, start in lead customer acquisition schedule, do it at the same time and finish at the same time every day, right? Yeah, create the accountability helping you to do that, right? And so since that we are all getting bored with the prospecting time, right? Focus on long-term payoff versus the rejection at the moment. Always have the goal posted in front of you. For example, I work with NFL player. I work with, for example, I work with Dale Jackson, NFL player, Seahawks. Help him with a property in Bellevue, Washington, right? At the early day, this has been like 10 years plus. I've been to the Seahawks training camp, right? This guy, they practice hard every single day, 8 hours a day, just Monday through Friday, the whole year. They practice the whole year, out in the cold, out in the mud, they bang each other, they work really hard just to play the 16 game, So, it get boring, right? I work with the NBA legend, in the past. This guy, they have to, shoot the basketball, every single day, right? Kobe Bryant is one of the great players, so are Michael Jordan, right? They shooting over, they shooting thousands of basketball every single day. Anytime, anytime you do something for a prolonged period of time, it get boring, right? But what are you got to think about the reason, like why you got into this business. Who you do it for, what do you want to get out of it, and are you gonna create a great business, that helping the client, helping your family, helping your earning, raise your earning to a certain point, and invest into asset, long-term cash flow and income. What is the reason for you to be in this business, right? So I want you to again, doing the customer acquisition, lead generation every single day through prospecting, and follow the schedule. It get bored, right? But you really have to focus on what is the long-term payoff, versus the issue, the problem, the rejection, at the moment, right? So think about your long-term goal. Think about you post the goal, you put the goal in front of you, right? Anytime you get bored and people rejecting you, anytime that you feel discouraged, you probably need help. You need not just the training, advanced business workshop training, but also you need coaching. Those are the things that are gonna help you to prepare your real estate business to the next level, right? So that's all I have for today to share with you, with the idea of lead generation and customer acquisition through prospecting. And I hope that you create a schedule for yourself, that allows you to do it every single day, right? So with that, I appreciate that you taking the time today and watching this program. Thank you.